Let's take it over to the news desk with Caroline and Rashi with more on this severe weather threat.
And as Ramisha was talking about, Huntsville is going to get slammed, and they already are dealing with some flooding.
Yeah, and that's where we're finding Johnathan Mejia. He is in the Huntsville area giving us a look at what's happening there. Wow, right now. It looks like a lot of water in that area, Johnathan.
Lots of activity happening here in the Huntsville Riverside area. We've been here all day. I've been here since around 11:30 a.m. and I can just tell you the situation just continues to get worse for residents in this area. When I was here earlier, obviously the rain didn't start falling down because we were expecting it to hit this afternoon, but around 2:30 is when the rain started to fall, and it has not stopped. We've been hearing thunder, we've been seeing lightning, we've been feeling the winds. So I want to pan towards my left. You're going to see this street right over here. You're going to see how it is completely flooded. Now this area has already been hit significant by the rainfall that happened here a couple of weeks ago. So we were out here originally talking to residents about this issue, you know, hours before this rain that's hitting right now would hit this area, which could increase the water level here. Now, as we pan more this way, I want you to take a look at that sign. You probably won't see it here from this vantage point, but it says Green Rich Shores. Now, we've been able to track how the water has risen, because when we got here, it was about 2 to 3 inches below that title there that we see in the Green Rich Shores, but we just continue to see the water level rise. Now, straight ahead, straight behind me, I'm going to take a step away so you can take a look. This entire street completely flooded. I don't know if you are able to make out that black pickup truck, but that is completely underwater, and that has definitely risen, because when we got here we were able to see the tires, but now you're barely making out the tire. And just behind that pickup truck you have homes there where the backyard is completely flooded, the porch completely disgruntled from its foundation. And again, we've been out here all day. We've been speaking with residents who tell me that despite this flooding, despite more water hitting this area, they are choosing to remain, to stay here. They are actually calling on the Trinity River Authority to do more. They want them to release the water in the dam so that this water all here can get released, and they will see, you know, receive some relief from the rain and the flooding in this area. But some people, as I said, I spoke with them earlier today, they were out getting groceries. They were stocking up on water, food, because they were expecting to not be able to get in and out of their homes. One resident I spoke with, she tells me, thankfully, to her neighbors, she's been able to get the things that she needs, such as food and water, and they've been able to bring her stuff that she needs. But other residents are using aluminum boats to get around town, or just get around, you know, to and from their homes. So this is the situation we're seeing here, and you're hearing the thunder here right now. It hasn't stopped raining, and more rain is expected to hit into the nightfall.
And Johnathan, I was going to ask you, as you see other people around there, are they concerned about the weather being worse, or what are their plans?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, they are going to stay put. They are aware of what's happening. One resident I spoke with, he tells me he's prepared for the water to rise between 6 to 8 inches, but if it's anything more than that, he says he's worried. He took us inside his home. He took us inside his shed. For him, he's a retired, elderly man, and he says while he may not have a job to get to, a lot of his possessions, which he tells me he has worked hard for, it would be devastating if he loses it. He says he's been living in this area since 1976, and he's been through many floods before, and he says it doesn't compare to what Hurricane Harvey left, but he says a lot of the flooding here is very impacting. Now, again, thankfully he has a shed and he has another property where he's been able to take all his stuff and just continue to move it to higher levels so that he doesn't lose his prized possessions.
Johnathan, how deep would you say that water is where you're standing? Because by the looks of it, I can see a sign behind you, some trees, some roofs. It looks like it's really deep.
Yeah, so right now where we're standing, I mean, it's not too much, but again, if you walk over there, I mean, my boots, I'm 6'3" for reference, and it's reaching just a couple inches below my knees. So I would say anywhere between 3 to 4 inches. And again, the more deeper we go into it, obviously the higher the water levels are.
And Jonathan, I'm glad that you gave that example of the elderly man, because when I was out there in the rain in Conroe, a lot of people said that they didn't want to evacuate because they have pets or they have all of their belongings. So it really is something that is very hard for people to do. Even though there are flood threats, they have things that they need to stay put, and that is understandable. But law enforcement, there's not been any indication of any evacuations, right?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, a lot of people are choosing to stay here. And I did call the Trinity River Authority. We're waiting to get back to hear their response, because a lot of the residents, they're calling on them. They're telling them, you need to release the waters from the dam to be able to streamline this and get this water out of here. Of course, more water is going to fall, and obviously that's going to bring more flooding potential. But it is a terrible situation for both sides. That's what residents have been telling me. For those who live in this area, but also those who live closer to the dam, just terrible situation as more rain is expected to come. And I've been out here all day. I haven't seen any authorities out here. Just people going on about their day.
Well, Jonathan, and I'm not sure who your camera operator is, but if at any point you guys need to tear down and get in the car for safety, I saw some thunder and lightning, please go. Your safety comes first. But it really is just crazy getting a live look at what's happening in this area. It just reminds you of how dangerous these storms can become here in the greater Houston area.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have more coming up, at Fox 26 at 5. We'll have a full package and a full story that you'll be able to tune into. And we'll post that on fox26houston.com, as well as Fox Local for those who are watching on TV or digital. We'll have a full story so you can hear directly from the residents.
All right, Jonathan, thank you so much for that live report.